John, they have that, kind of at least being around it and with the game experience. What are the big differences there?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly it's a huge difference going into having this conversation. Last year we had one spring of information, and we didn't even have Jake that spring. So really, the first practice we were going to have with Jake was going to be tomorrow last year, right? So we were having these discussions, and really a lot of it was just guessing. Now we have film on what Wilton in the games he played, for us last year. We had meetings with those guys all last year, all spring. Their preparation has been excellent leading into it, and now it's really exciting because you can build off of last year without taking on this whole approach of too much newness. It really can be, how much better can we get now that you can show them film of Michigan people doing it rather than other people doing it.
What will you be looking for to make that decision on who ends up being the starter?
Oh, I think it's, there's there's a ton of things we have to look at, right? But the number one thing is, can you lead the team to score? Can you lead the team in practice? Can you move the football? Can you not just have flashes, but can you have consistent good days, one after another after another? Can you have a move the ball period that's unscripted, and can you go from the 20 to the 20 or from the 50 to the goal line, wherever we start? Can you just make first downs? And the guy that does the most of that will really give us a great chance. And then how they lead the team, how they command the huddle, how they break the huddle, how they act in meeting rooms, how they, do they have them moxie about them? Do they? And then what's the end result?
Do both those guys have it?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the guys. I think we have two guys that are doing really well, and another two guys that are, or three guys that are right there, just continuing to compete for it. And I don't think it's like a slam dunk that it's in between. There's just two guys. We're not going in thinking that way. There's an opportunity to go out there and take this job. It's not being given to anyone. So if they've had, I guess, April 1 or 2, when the spring game was, they had from that day till tomorrow on their own, with the strength coaches, but on their own, to figure out a way to go become a starting quarterback in Michigan. That's pretty cool.
When you guys start tomorrow, is it going to be, Brandon going to get as many reps as John? Is it going to be even all the way, or are you guys going to tier that some?
I haven't talked to Coach Drevno or Coach Harbaugh about that yet, actually. We'll have a plan for him, but we haven't discussed exactly how we're going to work the rest, but I would guess it's going to be very fair. Very early.
Yeah.
Is there a chance the competition could go into the season, first few games, a couple of different quarterbacks play perhaps?
I guess, right, there's always a chance. I don't know that. I don't know what it's going to look like. I would be surprised if it looked like that it would go into the season. We'd like to have a starting quarterback before that, but again, we don't know. It's going to be, we'll talk about it, and as we talk about it, we'll figure out what's the best way to name a starting quarterback, when's the best time to name the starting quarterback, and what are we going to do with that?
What have you seen out of O'Korn in particular that you've liked since he's been here?
Out of John, he's experienced, so he's played, so he has when he breaks the huddle, when he runs the offense, he knows what he's doing. He's done it before. He's done it in games. He's done it in environments that, and he does everything right off the field. He's somebody that he wants to lead. He wants to be the guy. He wants to find a way to, really take this team and run with it. And I think you can see that every day that you're around him.
What Wilton?
Wilton, somebody that has really matured over a year. I think that going into last year's camp, he's a much different person than he is going to this year's camp. He's mature, he's taken on a lot of responsibility. The obvious game against Minnesota gave him a ton of confidence. And he just is excited about it. He's excited about the fact that, that's not going to be the only touchdown he ever throws for Michigan. And I think that's his mindset. That's not going to be my last touchdown.
Did you tell him not to let that be his only
Oh yeah.
moment? So
Oh yeah.
How many times?
Often, you know, and that you have to remind these guys about that. You know, remind them that, hey, that was just one, and hopefully that's one of many. Hopefully that's one game-winning score of many, right? Just like with John O'Corn, you know, hey John, you want to be the guy that throws the next batch of touchdowns. Shane Morris, you know, he's played in games with Big Ass, hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet. I know he wants to throw one, and I know Brandon Peters arrives, and you know he wants to be a part of that battle as well.